Okay, so since they're arresting people and jailing them for being homeless, but yet they don't want to do anything to regulate housing or make housing more affordable. So they have to know that more people are going to be arrested for being homeless because in the future, more people are going to be homeless. Nobody can afford these rent prices. Nobody can afford these housing prices. But why would they deliberately want people to be homeless? So they can arrest them to benefit the for-profit prisons. Think about that. Prisons are making a profit from incarcerating people. And the AP just released this report where they uncovered that prisoners in the US are part of a hidden workforce linked to hundreds of popular food brands. And what are those popular food brands? Look at all of these popular food brands that are connected to prison labor, which is often forced. So if corporations are benefiting from incarcerated people doing labor for free, and these corporations don't have to pay for labor and they can reduce their labor costs by making prisoners do labor, of course they're going to want to imprison more of us. And a report released by the University of Chicago Law School's Global Human Rights Clinic found that U.S. prison labor programs violate fundamental human rights. The key findings of this report: nearly 2/3 of incarcerated people report working behind bars, amounting to roughly 800,000 workers incarcerated in prison. More than 3/4 of incarcerated people surveyed report facing punishment, such as solitary confinement, denial of sentence reductions, or loss of family visitation if they decline to work. Which prison labor is supposed to be voluntary. It is not supposed to be forced. And they're finding that 3/4 of the people surveyed say it's forced or else you're threatened. Prison laborers are at the mercy of their employers. They have no control over their work assignments, are excluded from minimum wage and overtime protections. They are unable to unionize, do not receive adequate training and equipment, and are denied workplace safety guarantees despite often dangerous working conditions. And how convenient for the corporations. They don't have to adhere to any of the regulations that we on the outside of prisons adhere to as workers and employers. But the corporations can exploit the people that are incarcerated. They don't have to follow any of these regulations. They don't have to make sure that the conditions are safe. They don't have to give them minimum wage. They don't have to pay them for overtime. As a result of this, 64% of incarcerated workers report worrying about their safety while working. 70% said they received no formal job training, and 70% report not being able to afford basic necessities like soap and phone calls with their prison labor wages. Incarcerated workers produce at least $2 billion in goods and $9 billion worth of prison maintenance services annually, but this number is not closely tracked and is likely much higher. In most states, pay incarcerated workers pennies per hour for their work. 7 states, Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Texas, pay nothing for the majority of prison work. Other states pay an average between 15 and 52 cents per hour for non-industry jobs. And prison laborers often see up to 80% of their paycheck withheld for taxes, room and board in the prisons, and court costs. And again, look at this list of companies that is benefiting from forced, low-cost prison labor. I don't want to believe in a dystopian outcome. However, we do need to pay attention to this because there are for-profit prisons. They are growing in number. They are forcing incarcerated people to work for next to nothing, and they are creating a system where more and more people are going to be homeless and more people are going to be arrested for being homeless or arrested for crimes that come in conjunction with poverty and homelessness. It's almost like a plan to get us to work for free.